Do you think that there will be, any major correction in the Sydney market?
I think it depends on it can go multiple different ways, as we
Mm,
both know, where nothing's really a given.
mm,
The way, at least as from a real estate point of
mm.
view, I always have to be very optimistic and hope that the correction's over so that prices can keep on
Yeah,
pumping higher, and then that all of our clients can be happy and everyone's making money from the ownership side of things. But realistically, I think there is that possibility of correction, just coming back and sort of occurring in the next few years. I think we're already seeing a correction occur since
mm,
post COVID
mm.
to now. But how much deeper that correction go will depend on so many various different factors.
Yeah,
As we were speaking about earlier, with all the rezonings happening, with
yeah,
all of the newer suburbs popping up, with all of the connectivity that's increasing in Sydney, that being the biggest factor, I think that's going to play a major part. People
yeah,
couldn't traditionally live out towards further than Oakville. They couldn't live
yeah,
towards Vineyard. They couldn't live anywhere further than Hawkesbury, right? And those sort of things apply not just to the west, but to the north, to the south, everywhere throughout Sydney, where that just wasn't a possibility. So one thing we're seeing now is that because of the government funding the connectivity, because of the connectivity increasing,
mm,
accessing the city and accessing the work zones are becoming very accessible.
yeah,
And because of that factor, living is not as contained, living is not as restricted as it once was. And at the same time, you have that coupled with the fact that there's also development happening in these lesser pockets,
yeah,
which are just going to keep on increasing, and they're gonna create more housing for people. So it essentially it goes back to a general supply and demand sort of chart if you're to look at, and it's very standard where if you sort of compare it and you really break it down, it all comes
yeah,
down honestly. Demand for these hotter pockets, which are now deemed premium, or they're deemed very high end lifestyle living. I feel like correction, those markets really won't be that much of a given because they represent more of a status and more of a non-tangible element.
mhm,
Whereas compared to your housing, your homes, which are intended for housing more so than premium living, and they don't really have that much of a status element involved behind them, those will, in my opinion, incur a greater correction because
mm,
those factors of new homes coming and connectivity increasing are going to impact those more because they're going to level the playing field. More places, once again, like these premium homes, which both of us know and we have seen, those will probably have a minor correction because
mm.
they're not really impacted all that much by the supply. They're more so driven by psychological elements like status or by chasing the desire for a more premium lifestyle.
Yeah, yeah. And it's such a difficult question to answer because there's so many variables to your point. And Sydney is a
Yeah.
market where, again, you